Hi, this is John, and welcome back to the LRWF training series. What I'd like to talk to you about right now is menu management. Menus are very important. They allow your visitors to navigate the site rather. So let's get to it. The first place I'd like to take you is appearance and theme options. This is the place in the system. You click on the menu tab, by the way. This is the place in the system where you select which of the defined menus is your main menu and where it's positioned in relation to the rest of the elements in the theme. The way we've got it configured is it's above the primary slider, and we have main menu R2 as the menu. We could put it below the slider, we could put it over the slider. Over the slider means if you can imagine it laying on top of the slider, would save you a little bit of room, but it would block some of the image. So let's just leave it where it is. You could also hide the menu. Not usually a good idea. Essentially stop people from being able to get to the other pages in your site. Main menu style is underlined. Block just means that the whole section gets highlighted versus an underline. Fixing the menu position, meaning that as you scroll down, the menu sticks itself to the top of the page. We are aligning the menu to the right in the same line with the logo. You could center it under the logo or put it directly under the logo, but this saves a bit of space. The main menu responsive value is the width at which the system and the menu begin to change their appearance to account for smaller screens, typically on touchpads like an iPad or an Android pad. You could also imagine displaying on a phone, which is much less narrow than 1024. 1024 is when it begins to adjust itself. Open responsive submenus on click. Could say on hover, meaning that as you pause over one of the menu items, it'll actually open up. That's not such a great idea. Most people are not used to that type of behavior from their computer, so I don't recommend you use it. Submenu width, we leave this blank because we want the width of the drop-down menus to be as wide as the widest text. You could make this a specific width, but if you enter a menu item that's got text that's longer than this, it'll get cut off. And I don't think you want that to happen. Item description below the item's caption, or as an item title and pop-up. We want the menus to drop down and have the caption of the item show there instead of popping up. Menu tends to be at the top of the screen. If it pops up, it may get cut off. Show user menu area. We have this as no. If you're logged in, you'll notice at the very top of the system here, screen rather, you'll see several icons, the ability to create new items, events, and it shows who I'm logged in as. If you show the menu user area, you actually will see a repeat of the entire menu system up here in the black bar. That's not really necessary. It can be useful if you have different menus for users that are logged in versus menus for people who are visiting, but in our case it's all the same. Show contact details in the top left corner. Yes, we're doing that. We don't need to show currency. We're hiding the shopping cart button because we have not decided to implement the WooCommerce widget, but if we do at some point, decide to always show it only on pages that have items for sale, or hide it as we're doing now. We are not using multi-language plugins, so we're leaving it as no, because we're only using English. And we are showing the login and logout buttons, which would replace, it says Howdy Simban Services here. it would say log in if I was not logged in. We are not using the demo page, so this is totally irrelevant. Show the left panel? No. Right now the system has a right panel on the pages besides the home page. We could elect to also show the side menu on the left, or show the side menu on the left instead of on the right. It's totally a matter of taste. If you did put the side menu on the left, which menu would you want to show there? Right now we're leaving it at default. Because it's off, it doesn't really matter. Could also, by the way, create an icon for it. Here we are showing the right panel. The right panel is not containing a menu. The right panel is containing several widgets that we have defined in another section of the site. The right panel is fixed, it doesn't float. If we turned it to float, it would actually open and close the same way the drawer opens and closes on an Android phone, or the application drawer opens on an iPhone. We're not really showing a table of contents the way you think of it in terms of a book, but the table of contents does show you where you are and give you ability to navigate that way without necessarily going directly to the menu. And there you have it. And of course we have home, and on top, add to top in the table of contents, meaning that when the table of contents icon shows up down here in the lower right hand corner, you'll see a little up arrow that means go to the top, and you'll also see a home button which will take you to the home page. So in order to save this information, click the save button. Now, we didn't make any changes, but if you did, you have to save it in order for it to actually apply. Great. Now let's go to the menus themselves. First thing you want to do is make sure that you're working in the menu that you think you are. There are 4 menus that we have defined right now. R2 is the one that we have that we're actually using on the main pages. If it's not the one that you have selected, you have to click it and then say select, so it loads the proper menu for you to work on in the area down below on the right. Now, you can add a lot of different things to the menu. You can add pages, you can add events, custom links, which are typically sent outside of your site. You can categorize, or not categorize, but you can create a menu item for categories, meaning it will generate a page of all items that have that category tag attached to them. That's an advanced topic. It's something we can discuss at a later time, but be aware that it's there. You can, of course, always go to the WordPress help files and learn more about that. The same goes for event categories. You can show a menu item that selects only, let's say, book events, where it'll show you the next 5 or 10 inside of a generated page based on somebody clicking this menu item. Kind of a shortcut for selecting and limiting the number of events that are shown on a page. Now, the most common thing you're going to do with menus are, of course, add pages. So what we're going to do here is, see on the left-hand side, there's a list of the most recent pages. These would be pages that have either been created recently or updated recently. If you want to add an older page, you can go to View All. As you'll see here, there's 2 pages worth of forgive the phrase, but 2 pages worth of pages worth in the list. If you know part of the name, you're probably better off going to the search area and typing the name, or at least part of the name. I entered train, and so 2 pages have the word train referenced somewhere in there. One of them is the training page from which you saw this video. The other is Caring for America, which must have some text in it that specifies some kind of training program. Let's go ahead and select Caring for America and add it to the menu. Now, it might not look like it's done much, but what it actually did was put the menu at the very bottom of the list. You might think this is a bit inconvenient, and sometimes it can be, but it's a simple thing to move these menu options around. You can grab any menu item, you can move it and make it a child of another menu item. So in this case, you would open up the event calendar, open up reservations made, and then you would see Caring for America. So this is a hierarchy here. If you want to make it on the top level, make sure it's all the way to the left. Now what we've done here is it's going to show up on the main menu before the event calendar. You can continue to move it up. And we can put it just after the home page if we choose. Now, you can change the title attribute, meaning the way that it will display on the menu. You can use these links to move it up and move it down and do other activities with it. And really, it's pretty simple. I mean, at this point, we've added a menu option, menu item that links directly to a page, and we've moved it around. We've moved it from one level to another. We've moved it and changed the order of the menu. In order to make the save, in order to make the change permanent, click Save Menu. Now the menu has saved. Menus don't work the same way as regular pages do. You do not have to publish it in order for it to take effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and visit the site. And there is Caring for America. Now what we want to do is now at this point go ahead and delete it because we do not want this page here since we're only testing. So I clicked remove, moved it right away, save. And now we can see that it's gone. So now you know how to add items to the menu, you know how to move them around and change the level that they're on, and you also know how to save and make your menu visible to the general public. Have fun updating your menus.